Greetings, good people. What's happening? My name is Dr. Clarence and welcome back to TV7 Live, where we get to give you all the artists and top trending topics, broadcasting live and direct from Zimbabwe, Africa. Enough respect to everybody. To those watching us live right now, can you confirm if you can hear me loudly and clearly? And you can also write your comments in the top chat or in the super chat. That's how I can get to see your name so I can give you my shout out. Now, what is happening here in Zimbabwe? Yesterday we saw a new war veterans leader being chosen, and now it seems Christopher Mutsvangwa has been kicked out as the leader of the Zimbabwe war veterans. Yes, Christopher Mutsvangwa is no longer the leader. And then we are getting the sad news from Zimbabwe that 2 cases of Mpox have been detected. May God be with our nation. May God heal our nation right about now. So we're going to look into that also. The Mpox virus is in Zimbabwe right now. This is something that is worse than the COVID-19. Then we're seeing this here. Vice President Constantino Chiwenga is said to be now using a private helicopter following the incidences that happened where we see one helicopter crash, which was said to pick one of them between President Emerson Mnangagwa and Vice President Chiwenga. So now he's using a private jet. What information, what details do we have on this one here? Enough respect to everybody who's watching us live right about now. To those watching us live, you can write a comment in the top chat or in the super chat. That's how I can get to see his name so I can give him my shout out. So far what we're getting is not so much information to do with Chiwenga's flying in the helicopter, but rather we see this here. One writes this: Vice President General retired Dr. CDG and Chiwenga arriving at Driefontein in Chirumanzi district, yet using a yet to be identified South African registered helicopter. Private helicopter seen in the background for the Centurion celebrations and 100 years Thanksgiving March 11 October 2024. Big up to Dumisani Ngungu, says you're loud and clear, watching from Acacia. Thank you very much there for that comment. Enough respect. So right now we know that Vice President Constantino Chiwenga is using a helicopter from South Africa. Okay. Then a few days ago, also 2 days ago, we saw Vice President Chiwenga officiating a book launch. And the book that was launched is a book written by General Hapiton Bonyongwe, who was Director General of the CIO for 15 years. Right? So, us seeing Chiwenga officiating, the mood that was there at the event, that shows us the level of respect that the intelligence community has for Vice President Constantino Chiwenga. Hence, we see them award him the honor of launching the book. Now, in the last chapter of the book, Hapiton Bonyongwe suggests what could help push Zimbabwe forward, what could help build Zimbabwe. And that alone shows political interests or political ambitions. Anybody is allowed to have political ambitions. Me, I have political ambitions. I also want to become the president of Zimbabwe one day. Hopefully after President Mnangagwa, I want to become the president of Zimbabwe. All right. I don't know what will happen. Things like age, etc. I don't have a political party, etc., but I would love to be a president of Zimbabwe one day. So, we see him launch this book here. Then the last chapter of the book, and also in the book, he mentions succession issues, where he suggests that Mugabe did not deal with the succession issues. That is what would lead to the coup. And we see Chiwenga there officiating the book. So the issue of ED 2030, there has been speculation that the war veterans have stopped it. And also we see Christopher Mutsvangwa losing The war veterans sit to this guy showing there on the screen. His name is Sifas Nube. So we will be looking into him in another video. Who is Sifas Nube, so we can get details and insight into who this guy is. Right. So he loses elections. Christopher Mutsvangwa. We all know that Christopher Mutsvangwa is one of the people who has been loud in ZANU-PF. Christopher Mutsvangwa is born May 24, 1955, which makes him 45 years plus 24. That's around 70 years there. That is the age of Christopher Mutsvangwa. Not too old, not so much, not very old, right? So Christopher Mutsvangwa would join the liberation struggle in 1975. Saka Christopher Mutsvangwa anomborwa wondo stereki. That's according to me, saying that according to my own calculations, because the ceasefire would begin around 1978. Pane patone abe umzoreo akutotonga. So from 1975 to 1978, that's 3 years. I don't know from 1975 Christopher Mutsvangwa ngakatrainwa how long. Let's say akatrainwa 6 months to 1 year. That would be 1976, right? So basically, that is the time he joins the war. Then Sifas Nube is somebody who is recently gaining prominence in Zimbabwe politics by being elected as the new chairperson of the Zimbabwe National Liberation War Veterans. His election took place on elective congress held on October 12, 2024 in Gweru, where he decisively defeated the incumbent Christopher Mutsvangwa. So it was highly likely that somebody who is unknown would defeat Christopher Mutsvangwa and all the other guys known. Now the details of his elections are this. He received 249 votes. Sorry. Out of the total of 294 voters, he received 90 votes, and Christopher Mutsvangwa received only 11 votes. So I'm not sure how this Zimbabwe National Liberation War Veterans Association is associated with ZANU-PF wing of the war veterans, but I don't think they are associated, because this National Liberation War Veterans Association is a private organization. Any Zimbabwean can register any organization. Like me, I can register a workers' union today. I can register a war veterans association today. I can register a musicians association today. I can register a lawyers association today. I can register a women's association today. I can register a churches association today. I can register a political party association today. Any Zimbabwean can register any association to do with anything. It doesn't make it official or something that every Zimbabwe should abide by. It will be ideas of individuals. It being popular is another subject. So it is not entitled to any respect or whatever from anybody. It is just an organization, just like any non-governmental organization. That is what it is. So these people sometimes they use the people's ignorance in that people would not actually be knowing. No, this War Veterans Association is just like any other private organization. It's just like Zimbabwe Lawyers for Human Rights. Okay, they are just the same, because we would see these guys come and they spearhead the land reform program, which led to disastrous situation in Zimbabwe, which was still suffering up until today. The land reform program was a failure. Nothing. The only thing that is only doing us good right now in Zimbabwe is we have individual Zimbabweans who are interested in farming. Not that the land reform benefited them. Of course, there are those who were without land who benefited. I don't know who it is. Personally, I don't know anybody who benefited. Personally, I didn't benefit. I don't know any of my relatives who benefited, or anyone in my street or who is a relative who benefited from the land reform program. What I know is the communities will be filled with people coming as Vangora farm workers, ghetto, right? All I know is there's operation in Murambachina. Accommodation yakunetsa. That is what I know. All I know is of course, Mgabarambo tribe indigenization, right? A youthful minister, Sevia Gasukuere, is the minister running indigenization. Indigenization is a success. 2015, 2016. John Panoneza Mangujga, na Patrick Chinamasa, they brought back the bondage note. Power company $2 a green. Watch the change, and basically they took everybody's money, and Zimbabwe began going on a downward trajectory. Indigenization was destroyed that time. Then we saw Mugabe ashfire Patrick Chinamasa. Patrick Chinamasa kunza minister of WhatsApp. Basically, those guys, they brought Zimbabwe down. I hope wherever they are reflecting on what they did. We are real people. Zimbabwean people are real people. We are living right now. We are alive right now. And people can just destroy an economy just like that. And they remain feeling entitled. With that said, I think John Panonesa Manguja and Mtulingube and all those guys, they should resign from office. At least that move alone, personally, I would respect that. The damage these guys have caused is very sad and disturbing. Now in Zimbabwe, we have recorded now first case of Mpox. With our system of inefficient people who can't deliver anything, what do we expect in our nation? One article would read, panic as Zimbabwe records its first Mpox cases. Ministry of Health on high alert amid response plan rollout. Health and Child Care Minister Douglas Mombetsora has announced that Zimbabwe has recorded its first case of Mpox, with one case in Harare and another in Mberengwa. Addressing journalists in Harare, Mombetsora said an 11-year-old and a male adult have a known record of traveling from South Africa, Tanzania, and Tanzania recently. So that is a very positive feedback there, in fact, that we have managed to track how the disease is going in. Both patients are stable, according to the minister. So if we have this information, it means the government knows how we can be dealing with that to be avoiding this one pandemic to pan across the geospheres of Zimbabwe. Geo simply means land. Pan simply means moving to shifting. Pandemic is a disease that is moving. Pandemic. The demographic, something like that. I like to use big words at the same time. I like to explain because I know in Zimbabwe our education system doesn't work. People finish an education without knowing anything. Zimbabwe, we lie to ourselves that we are educated. We can read and write. We can say hello and how are you in English. We are not literate. That's why we are failing in government. So I don't want to be talking like Christopher Mutsvangwa, right? What else do we have? We have Dexter. The Dexter guy got arrested. The one that wanted to take collect Harare parking. So Dexter Nduna. We'll be looking into that. Details of Dexter Nduna in another video. What has been happening? Personally, I'm on the side of Dexter Nduna. I don't know if what he was doing was illegal or illegitimate. I do not support those city parking, whatever organizations that just come into our country and do whatever they want. Down with them. I don't support them. I would support Dexter Nduna, not those guys. So that should end. Bear with me, fellow Zimbabweans. Yes, I do not have pressure. But people from my next door, they keep on bothering me. They think they can kill me. Right? Some of them at one point, they told me I should kill myself or wear a dress and go. They are still up. So, because those are right? But whoever they are, be they children or descendants of my disbanded Selu scouts, down with them. And I'm not afraid of them, whoever they claim to be. I just say this in the videos for record. Such that can that's Uraya and Gunoku. Of course, it will be exceptional circumstances. Because I don't associate with people who I don't look up to, who I don't learn anything from. People who are uneducated on that matter also. So, basically a bunch of them Jigure Nemahure who are into some stupid delusional voodoo. Enough respect to Asangara, enough respect there. Love Mokafi, enough respect. Lennox Maria, Obet Madziwa, say watching from Durban. Yes, enough respect. Big up to Gluten Kiwan. He says, we are as much to blame as they. If we collectively reject them. Fellow Zimbabwe's next election, do register to vote. The only way that the elections are rigged is people do not participate. They think the election will be rigged. Me personally, I'll be involved in politics this coming election. With that, I sign out. Dr. Clarence, TV7 Live.